I got to say, Dave, we've been talking about this now for a couple months about what the Lakers are going to do. And Rob comes out, in my mind, a major winner in this trade deadline. He did everything you talked about, which would have been best case scenario for the Lakers, adding a shooter, adding some young talent, not having to give up both picks, even getting a protected first as far as what he was able to give up. Dave, let's go through the first move here, the big one. Lakers got D'Angelo Russell. He's coming back to LA. Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. All he had to give up was Russell Westbrook and a lightly protected first-round pick, right, in a 3-way deal. What do you think?
Yeah, let's start with the fact that you were able to protect that pick. Well, picks 1 through 4, it would not convey. And, how many drafts do we see where there's 5 can't miss guys, right? If you're protecting 1 through 4 and it happens to be a fantastic draft, like, you're probably in a pretty good position. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And look at, you get obviously D'Angelo being the biggest name and biggest talent they acquired. But it's not necessarily his talent, but how his talent could fit with LeBron and AD. And think about D'Angelo off the ball, catch and shoot, has that ability, spread the floor. And he's young and he's on an expiring deal, but the Lakers have interest in re-signing him to a 2-year extension to keep him on the books along with LeBron and AD. Just wonderful. And then you add switchable wing defenders with outside shooting ability in Vanderbilt and in Beasley. That's the name of the game in today's NBA. And, I reported months ago that there was some concern about the Lakers prioritizing name over game. This was them being in tune with the modern NBA, stocking up their roster with young, athletic, wing-type players. And of course, you still have the stars in LeBron and AD, and they got to stay healthy to have anything work out. But the pieces they have around them, they can just play hard and succeed. I mean, that's kind of the idea. I think that's the first move that you look and you say, wonderful. The second move of the day was Thomas Bryant to the Denver Nuggets for Devon Reed and 3 second-round draft picks. That was more of a, just managing the business of the NBA type of deal. Thomas Bryant's been great. The coaching staff loves him. His teammates love him. He was on a veteran minimum contract. He outplayed that position. And if they intended to re-sign him this upcoming summer, it would have required more than another veteran minimum contract. But he is the backup to Anthony Davis at center, and the Lakers are holding on to their mid-level exception to try to get a more consequential player than a backup for Anthony Davis. So it's no fault of Thomas Bryant's. He played fantastic for this team. And they got to restock with 3 second-round draft picks, which happened to be what they attached to get Rui Hachimura. So in a way, you get Rui Hachimura, who they consider to be a building block for years to come, for an expiring contract in Kendrick Nunn, and that's it. That's a heck of a deal. And then obviously they ended the day with the Patrick Beverley from Mo Bamba deal. And Mo Bamba's a guy they've loved for, I've heard his name attached to the Lakers for more than a year. And I had one Lakers source tell me we kind of got our discount version of Miles Turner, 7-footer with outside shooting ability, who they think can do a lot of things in Darvin Ham's system. So a really great day for the Lakers. And of course, part of the equation was saying goodbye to Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook, two, I would say, sometimes tumultuous personalities in that locker room. They can move forward with the clear leaders on this team being LeBron and AD, and everybody else falls in line behind that.
It's funny, Dave, because I was there the day that Pat Bev met the media and Russ tossed him that towel so that Pat could wipe off the sweat off his brow because he had just come out of a workout. And here we are just a few months later. They are no longer Lakers. Mo Bamba, producers cue the Mo Bamba song if we have the rights to it, okay? I I like that deal. I like he's a young big. It's somebody that you can maybe groom toward the future, develop. And you're right, he could hit the 3-point shot if given the opportunity. D'Angelo Russell comes back now, a more mature D'Angelo Russell. There's no Nick Young there so that they can't get in trouble. Right, Dave? I like that, his outside shooting. Malik Beasley, I like his outside shooting. Jared Vanderbilt, a young, good prospect to bring off the bench that could be a core piece for a while for them for the future. Rob, there's a lot of Laker fans out there that owe Rob Pelinka an apology, okay? I think they're all loving Rob today. So we'll see how this all fits around LeBron. I got to say, Dave, can the Lakers, it's got me thinking now, because that day when the Lakers made all these upgrades, the day they got Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, and Vanderbilt, I was like, you know what? Clippers, they got to be a little concerned right now. Lakers are coming up now. I think the Lakers are going to be in the mix in the middle of the West. But here's my question, Dave. Can they win the West? I get it. We just had a massive trade that changed the landscape. We'll get into that later on KD. But I think this does give the Lakers a chance to at least be in the discussion, because if you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis, anything is possible with them.
Yeah, they're 5 games under 500. And it sounds almost blasphemous to have this conversation, but they wouldn't have made these deals unless they thought there was a runway possible for them to make a legitimate run to secure a non-play-in playoff spot, so 6th seed or better, and then make some noise once they're there. Like, there is still the notion around the league that LeBron James and Anthony Davis in a playoff series together are devastating because they're both matchup nightmares. So if they are healthy, with the requisite kind of defensive-minded wings around them that can create transition opportunities and open 3-point shots, that's a recipe for success. Now, it's going to come down to matchups, of course. They are to sneak in as a seed and have to deal with, a Denver Nuggets team that has looked primed as the best team in the West for, 6 months at that point. It's a difficult task, of course. But they hope to be the 6th seed or better and avoid, kind of the top of the conference. And, maybe you get a Sacramento team in the first round and you take care of them. And then waiting you in the second round is a young Memphis Grizzlies team, a team that you already beat when they are on an 11-game winning streak this year. And maybe you give Shannon Sharp courtside seats to all the games in the series.
And his cardigans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a scenario here, certainly to feel positive about. And the smart thing about all these deals is if it's worst case scenario, you're really not hurting yourself all that much. You kept one of your first round picks. You protected the other one you sent out. And of all the guys that they acquired, the only guy with guaranteed money next year is Jared Vanderbilt at about $5 million. And that's one, it's a very economical deal if you choose to keep him. But if you needed to move him for whatever reason to free up cap space because you decide, this group wasn't going to work, we have to pivot to hitting the free agency market this summer, all the guys either come off the books or can be easily moved. And so it really is kind of the maximum amount of planning for now while also having some insurance for the future in both the way you use picks and the type of players you acquire. And now the big question is, LA spotlight is different. LeBron James machine is different. Will these guys be able to live in that ecosystem? And they'll have 27 games to prove themselves.
I've always said this, Dave, it is totally a different animal when you are trying to play in LeBron James orbit. It's a totally different solar system than players are used to. It takes a different type of player to get used to that type of gravitational pull all the time, and be in that world. And I got to say one more thing back to Rob. I never would have thought Rob would have got the better of Danny Ainge. I never would have thought that. Danny Ainge is known for just basically holding everyone over and getting them for like an insane amount of picks and always come out on the better end. I think Rob won this trade this time against Danny Ainge. He should take that as a victory.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.